share this time with all of you. This is going to be a really informative session. I always love the internal marketing focus because it gives us a chance to really leverage something that all of you have already built. So it looks like this week, once again, we have, tons of people viewing. So if that proves to be the best model, then obviously please feel free to do it. But in the live session is where all the collaboration exists. So please try to every now and then at least jump into the live session so that you can share your ideas and your insight and everybody can walk away with even more wisdom. But let's jump in. So first off, this month we are going to try something that we never tried before, and we'd love to see who would like to participate. But there are 5 Mondays in July, and we're thinking on July 28th, what if we had an open SynPractic, like an open mic for the entire profession, where it was only SynPractic members in the live version, but we opened it up to other chiropractors so they can begin to see what it means to truly collaborate. So if you want to participate, this will be on July 28th. Just shoot an email to marketing@synduit.com, or you can email me directly at jy@synduit.com, and we'll share some more information on that. I think it could be really cool because this profession needs to collaborate, and modeling it is the best way to get them to move down that path. In addition, you'll notice that in Facebook, I've been posting the opportunity for you guys to submit PowerPoint presentations to us, and then we'll make them fearless. So keep doing that. And it doesn't mean we're going to do them all right away, but what we're looking for are great ideas, and then we can actually turn those PowerPoint presentations into full Holy Grail campaigns that'll prove to be extremely useful. So if you have any PowerPoints that you actually own because you created it, not because you bought it from somebody else, but you own it, send it our way, and then from there we'll be able to make this thing just absolutely killer and awesome for you. In addition, you probably have seen emails that we've been sending around the SynFire Challenge for July. We already have a number of you that are part of the challenge, which is fantastic, and outside of earning $250 for each chiropractor who joins the tribe because of you, you'll also become eligible to win a GoPro camera, which is one of the assets that we think all of you should have. It's really an amazing resource to capture your message on camera wherever you are. So please think of chiropractors, whether it's 1 person or 5 people or 50. Don't make it too hard on yourself. If every chiropractor that's in SynPractic right now thought of 1 chiropractor that would benefit the same way that you are, the tribe doubles. So think about that concept. The same holds true for your practice. If each person thought of 1 person that could benefit from chiropractic care the same way that they are, your tribe doubles. It's not that hard to double an organization, and that's what we're looking to do. This is going to be an explosive month, which outside of the excitement when it comes to the business, it is exhilarating to think about what that means for chiropractic as well. In addition, please make sure that you choose your September campaigns. These are awesome campaigns. By next Friday, July 18th, at 11:59 Eastern Time, you'll see we put a huge focus on chiropractic because these are September and beyond campaigns, and September is chiropractic's birthday. So we wanted to make sure that we shared that incredible resources and celebrated that wonderful holiday with all of you. So in the spirit of internal marketing, Dan and I did a really powerful Business Pros webinar last week. We received just rave reviews from those of you who attended live and many who participated after the fact. And what we discussed is the importance of building a World Cup clinic. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that webinar yet, you can go to the replay page for the Business Pros and watch it, because this dives into exactly what a chiropractic clinic needs to do in order to just transform, and it starts with your team. Everything that we share is something that we model here at Synduit, and today happens to be our 3-year anniversary, and the only reason why we're here to tell this story is because we have exhibited what it means to be a World Cup organization. We work as a team, we celebrate as a team. We shared 7 different strategies that you must do to build your internal evangelical tribe. People who so believe what you believe that are actually part of your business, who could really help take it to the next level. And that's what internal marketing is all about. It's about leveraging the people that you have working literally for you as part of your team, so they can then go out and empower people in your clinic who are already practice members to then go out and grow your business. Think about that concept, and if you didn't get a chance to watch that webinar, please make sure you do. It is extremely insightful. Let's go around just for the few that are on the live, and if you are viewing and you want to chat, obviously you can submit any responses here, but successes and challenges. So Mike V, I'll start with you, man. Any successes or challenges that you want to discuss?
Well, we're in the middle of the red, white, and blue campaign, and we have a goal of 50 new patients this month. So Chelsea went through our binder of success stories and took out like 50 of our best testimonials and like taped them up all over the walls and everything. So it's just a way to grab people's attention and point out, all the amazing success stories that we've had over the years, and then just open the conversation to say, we're on a mission to help create 50 more success stories this month, and we're having a lot of fun with that, with the poster, keeping that in our hallway, and the flow chart. Just that was a great graphic, and we like using that to have fun with it.
Cool, that's great, man. So 15 is the goal? 1-5?
No, 50.
50. Oh, that's awesome. I was hoping you said that.
Yeah.
Cool. So what we do here, and this might be helpful for you, when it comes to like sales goals, that's what that would be considered a sales goal, is if the goal is 50 in 1 month, we then break it down to the number of days that we're actually open during that month. So let's just say it's 20 days, just to keep it really simple. What that means is that every day that we're in business, we need to get 2.5 sales. And any day that we don't get 2.5 sales, that means the next day we need to get 2.5 plus 2.5 or 5. And this is a way to break down that goal into something that's extremely manageable on a daily basis based on when you're in the clinic, so based on when we're open, the same concept. And each time that we get a sale or you get a new patient, we have a little celebration here. So that might be inappropriate to do like in the middle of the day when other patients are around, but after the day, like a little celebration, we have a gong, we hit the gong, it's really high energy, everybody gets excited, Dan starts busting out some remixes, and so the point is though, like that ties into the World Cup Clinic, and more for that, because maybe remixes during the day might not be the best thing to do for you, but something like that, all right? But that's awesome, that's great, I'm happy there's a good energy over there as well.
Good deal. See you Thursday.
Yes, awesome, man. Can't wait. Dr. Whalen, are you on? Or are you just viewing? Or you may just be viewing. So if you want to jump on, you can share your successes or challenges as well. So Dan, you want to do a recap of our last call, which was
last time we talked about external marketing, and the universal marketing strategies, they never change, but for those of you who are new in the call, we always tell you in terms of external marketing, make sure that you're using the resources that we provide. You need to blitz your community with those posters, with those save-the-date cards. Use the letters that we provide for you with the local businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, anything that's kind of idiosyncratic to that particular campaign. We'll write a letter for that as well. So use those and make sure that you're making sure that they're out there. So use those, send them, pigeon, carrier pigeon, whatever you want to do, but make sure that they're out in your community, highly visible, and that you've got buy-in from other business owners who are, on the same page as you. So if you go to the local yoga studio or the local fitness center or gym, or you speak to a personal trainer, make sure that those people are aware of what's happening and that they're bought in. And if you're able to do that, then you're going to be able to have them buy into that concept and buy into this campaign, so that they send out an email to their database and they talk it up, because that's really the goal of this external marketing, is to reach new audiences. So with that in mind, make sure that you are able to do that effectively. One good way to do that is through the envelope technique, and for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you basically take an 8.5 by 11 envelope, take a letter that we provide with each campaign, put it in that envelope along with a couple of posters, and that letter basically says, here are a couple posters, dear local business owner, here are a couple posters that I would love for you to put up in your office. Send a couple back with the enclosed pre-stamped and pre-postage page envelope, and we will put some up for your business. It's a great way to establish a relationship right out of the gate, and we provide all the resources for you other than the stamps and the envelope. So use that as a way to get out into the community. And final thoughts on this are very mindset based. So a lot of people will go to a business owner and think that they need to pull an agreement out of the business owner, and that's really the opposite of how you should approach this. Jared, at several points, you speak about the example of Michael Jordan. When he makes a game-winning shot, he doesn't go back into the the locker room saying, "Oh my gosh, it went in." In the same way, I was thinking about this morning actually. Like with very professional actors, Leonardo DiCaprio or Tom Cruise, when they go to an audition, they just do what they do. and they know that what they do is relatable and very, very assimilated to what other people are looking for. So with that in mind, keep that mindset of, I know what I do is valuable. My product is the adjustment. Tom Cruise's product is his acting. Michael Jordan's product is his playing. Your product is your adjustment, and the value that it provides shines through. So whenever you talk to a local business owner, approach it as an eye-to-eye conversation. A lot of people go in with that inferior mindset of you're subjugating yourself and you're subordinating yourself, rather. So you want to have that confidence, and when you are able to do that and you're able to speak to that business owner and say, I want to create something that benefits us both, you're going to get a really strong reaction. So that's probably my final thought on the external campaigns.
That's great. Yeah, it is fantastic. And like, going back to the Michael Jordan analogy, just expect it, man. Like, Michael Jordan, he expected to win, and every time he stepped on the court, that's what he did, was he just won. There was never a shock. He never went into the locker room and said, Scottie Pippen, I can't believe I made that basket. Oh my gosh, what luck. Like, no, he took the shot, he knew it went in, and that was the end of it. So that's what you guys need to do with regards to all of these events. You just expect that these businesses are going to say yes. Why wouldn't they? This is the thing to do in your community, and you're giving them an amazing opportunity by inviting them to get involved. So let's continue with some of the reminders. So there's a really great week when it comes to additional resources. So the JNG timeouts this week, which is on Wednesday, the 9th at 2 o'clock, is on the importance of organization. So this is for your staff, and I'm sure that all the doctors would love for the staff to be even more organized than they already are. So we have some really interesting strategies that JNG are going to share. And Dan, with your business pros, why don't you share what you mean with regards to Get Facebook Up and Running Part 1?
So this is going to be a 3-week series that I'm going to be running. A lot of people are unfamiliar with how to actually start a Facebook page, populate it with content, and then promote it. So those are going to be the 3 weeks that I'm going to be really diving into Facebook with. So the first week, this Wednesday, I'm going to be starting from scratch and showing you guys exactly how to start a Facebook page and what should go into that, what the first steps are. The week after that, I'm going to be talking about how to populate with content, what kind of content, what kind of timing, and a couple of tools that will help you do that easily and delegate it to your staff. And then the final week, I'm going to talk about promotion and how you can get your Facebook, Facebook page, likes and shares and thumbs up and all the good stuff, so that you can actually put it to as its intended use. So that's what we're going to be talking about this coming week, is just getting it up and running, making sure that everything's in place, the email notifications and all that kind of stuff are taken care of.
That's right. So it's really going from the most basic to more advanced, and this will be a great opportunity for the entire tribe to engage and to benefit, because this is one of the most common questions we get around Facebook, is the whole process of beginning to then full execution. As always, if you have any questions with regards to marketing or SynMind related questions, email marketing@synduit.com, and then website request to pixelcorps@synduit.com. And as always, continue to use the Facebook group. It's awesome. Gets better and better by the day, and post any successes or challenges or anything else that comes to mind. So let's dive in to the August campaigns. Remember, we're talking about internal marketing. We're going to start with some universal marketing strategies. These would apply to all 6 of the campaigns. We just don't want to repeat ourselves over and over. And then we're going to break down the fearless idea based on a pattern interrupt and an anchor. And we'll explain what that is in a moment, just in case this is your first SynMind. So one of the universal strategies is to walk into your office as if it was for the first time. Now, we say this every month, and we hope that each time we say it, that it reminds you of the importance of this, because what often happens as a business owner is that you take your own beautiful facility for granted. And when it comes to decorations, you may not think about what the experience is for someone who's entering for the first time, because you've entered hundreds or thousands of times at this point. So what you want to do is try to open up these objective eyes, and do this with your team. It'll be a fun activity, and walk in. Where do your eyes go first? Is it the counter? Is it a wall? What are you putting on that wall? What are you putting on the counter? What are you putting on the chairs? What are you putting in the bathroom? Really think through the entire patient experience so that you can forecast what this is, and then you can create an environment that creates awareness around everything that you're doing and gets them super excited about it as well. Part of this is what we just spoke about, which is empowering your team. That World Cup clinic. Decorating your office is not necessarily something that the doctor should be doing unless you love it. If it's something that you really enjoy doing, then obviously spend your time doing it. That is a task that can easily be delegated, but empower them. Get them excited about whatever that is, where they're hanging up posters, what additional resources they might be getting. This is key when it comes to internal marketing. Also, make sure that everybody leaves your office with something, as little as a save the date to as much as an anchor, which we're going to talk about. But they should be leaving with something so that whatever you're doing during the month, it's on their mind. That's something that is so critical, because if it's just in the spoken word, the odds are they're going to leave your office, they're going to get in their car, they're racing somewhere, and then they're going to forget. Whereas if you give them something, whether it's to save the date or it's an anchor or something in between, that they bring with them, they put it in their purse, they put it in their pocket, they put it in their car, now it reiterates what that experience is. And then the final one, which we always say, and this is, from my perspective, the most important internal marketing strategy, is to give people the permission to bring guests to whatever you're doing. Because it would be socially inappropriate if you invited someone to your house for a dinner party, a social affair, and they brought a guest and they weren't invited to bring a guest. So why would someone think that your office is any different? Really, keep that in mind, and even use that word. You have the permission to bring anyone who will benefit from this program the way that you will. And now they'll start thinking about who they can invite, and you look like the hero for creating an opportunity that doesn't only help them, but it helps the people that they care about as well. So now let's dive into these fearless ideas. So Dan, why don't you start with our Get It Together, which is an awesome teleseminar, and we're going to break it down by pattern interrupt, and just to define that really quickly. Everybody enters your office living out a rhythm called their everyday life. This consists of stress at work, stress at home, having to run their kids to a soccer game or to a sporting event, stress of finances. They're walking in with a racing mind. So it's your entire team's responsibility to interrupt that pattern, break that pattern completely, so that now there's a conduit for you to connect, because that's the ultimate goal, is connection. So we break the pattern, and once it's broken and you start having the dialogue, an anchor is something that allows these people to think about you even when they're not with you. So that's the definition of a pattern interrupt and an anchor, and you're going to see how this works right now. So go for it, Dan.
So for Get It Together, the idea behind the pattern interrupt is so there's that as soon as they walk into your office, like Jared said, that they notice it and it breaks their pattern. This one has signs and posters put up in your office that says that has actual complaints from people that you know they're not getting enough sleep, or they're overweight, or they don't have enough energy, or there's not enough time, or for whatever. You want to have those complaints up and visible on the walls, and our posters do that to a great extent, but we want to actually get this interactive. So on each of these complaints, you want to have a place where people can write their name, or fill in a tally as to if they feel connected to that particular statement. Say if they're overweight, or they're too stressed out, or whatever that is, they put a nice tally next to that particular complaint, so that people can start seeing that a lot of people are in the same boat, that they're going to be coming to this event and actually doing something about this. And so that's a pattern interrupt, and that's going to be a way for people to be introduced to this right as they walk into the office. But the anchor is actually going to be a sticker that you can get printed that says Get It Together on it. And you put this on people as they walk out, or when they sign up for the workshop, and you can use this as an example and say, every time you look at this sticker, and this is pure, this is how you create an anchor in somebody's mind. You say, every time you look at this sticker, remind yourself of the importance of getting it together, coming to this, learning from what we're going to be sharing. And when somebody asks you about this sticker, tell them what you're going to be going to, what you're going to be learning, and why it's so important. That's like how you create an anchor in somebody's mind, if you ever had to, put words to it. So have them wear that sticker, and when they leave the office, when they go home, or when they meet with their friends and the friends ask about it, they can reinforce that internally as they explain it to other people. So that's going to be the anchor for Get It Together.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that really does epitomize what an anchor is, and the way that Dan communicated that is just absolutely perfect as well. So great job. Pack to School. So Pack to School is an awesome campaign, very community-centric. It's one of those feel-good initiatives where you're able to now provide school supplies to the less fortunate, and then in return, people have the opportunity to have certificates where they can then bring in those that they care about to your office. So it's a total win for every aspect of every party who's involved. So the pattern interrupt is to set up bins in your office and label each of the bins with the type of school supplies that you want to have filled up with. And the reason this is a pattern interrupt, because you want to make these visible, is that when people walk in, you have the banner over these bins that we've provided, and now when people come in, what they're going to do is they're going to see the bins, and that breaks their pattern, because there's not usually bins with school supplies in your office, and my recommendation is that you should put a few items in each. So invest like 20 or 30 bucks and get some notebooks and folders and rulers, just get something in there just to kind of begin the process. Also, one of the strategies that we shared is to reach out to school supply stores, because they will, I don't want to guarantee, but there's a very good chance that they would be willing to donate to this cause, and then that could help fill these bins in advance so that people see like, oh, this is just what everyone's doing, I'll make sure that I bring an item in. But the anchor, because that's the interrupt, that breaks the pattern, but the anchor is that when somebody does make a donation, okay, they actually bring in a school supply, make sure that the staff or you or somebody has a picture taken with them. And if you do it, just ask for their permission to post it on Facebook. And if they take it, make sure they post it on Facebook and they tag your office in it, and then make reference to how exciting that this is to bring school supplies in. In addition, if somebody agrees to donate on their next visit, have Post-it notes handy, and then write down whatever they said they're going to bring in, and then stick the Post-it note on their shirt and say, this is a reminder for you to bring in some school supplies so that we can help the less fortunate. And then you put the Post-it note on their shirt. That's an anchor right there. They're going to smile, they're going to laugh, and then from there they're going to recall that they need to do this. So that's a pattern interrupt and an anchor. I'm going to continue because Dan has a meeting he has to run to, so you got me for the rest of the session. Delivered. This is, I mean, a very popular campaign. We've done this, I mean, I don't even know how many times, 60, 70, 80 times we've had chiropractors do all natural birth campaigns, and this is one of them. So the pattern interrupt, this is a really fun one, is to put pictures of yourself and your team and your children when you were infants/babies and hang them around the office. Go back into your photo books from when you were a kid and hang them up everywhere, because that's not usually there. And they're going to come in and be like, oh, look how cute Mike V was, or look how cute Dr. Whalen is, and it's going to open up a conversation. It's breaking the pattern called their everyday life, which now allows you and your staff to break through and then have a discussion. The anchor is that if you go onto Google and you type in pacifiers, you can actually order pacifiers in bulk for like 5 cents each. Like, it's super cheap, and if you don't believe in that, it could just be used as an anchor, not even as a resource for them to use for their child. But order some pacifiers. You can probably spend like 20 bucks and get an enormous number of pacifiers, and attach a save the date to the pacifier, and then give it to them and say, don't use the pacifier if you don't want them to use it because it's plastic or whatever, but definitely come to this program, because we are going to educate you on how to have an all-natural, healthy birth so that your child is brought into this world with a foundation for health and well-being as well. So this is just the concept of an anchor. You might think of a different thing that you want to attach to the save the date, but that's the type of thing they put in their pocket, they put in their purse, and now they think about you even when they're not with you. Family Field Day. This is a fun initiative to do in the warmer months. So either you might be doing this in August or beyond, but this is an opportunity to bring the community together for one of the field days that I'm sure bring back amazing memories for you when you were in elementary school or possibly even middle school. So the pattern interrupt is have cones set up around the office as if it was a race, because you don't usually have that. So somebody walks in and now there's cones set up. They're like, well, what is this for? Breaking the pattern called their everyday life. And even consider having a baton and have your staff give them the baton, and then have them take the baton and then bring it into you and the doctor and pass the baton, which is the baton for their health and well-being. And this will be another way to kind of break that pattern, because I'm assuming that you don't have a baton that they're usually walking to the back with. The anchor is, and I love this concept, is put up a chart on the wall of people who have committed to come, and begin having people sign up for the different races and competitions that you plan on offering. So we'll have like a big board made up so people can sign up. I want to do the tug of war, the three-legged race, the potato sack race, whatever the competitions are. Have them sign up in a way that it's visible to all, because that'll be something where it really anchors the experience. Once they sign up, you can go to Home Depot or some type of store, that a hardware supply store, and you can get rope, as if it was like a tug of war rope, and attach the save the date to it. And you could tell them, well, make sure that you practice with this rope because our tug of war is going to be really intense, or something fun like that. But that rope will really solidify the fact that this is an event, and that's the anchor. If you don't want to go that far, once they sign up, that's a pretty big deal. You can then at that point take a picture for Facebook, have it posted ideally by them. If not, get the permissions so that you can post it, and at least make sure they have a save the date so that they remember as well. Next campaign is Pack for Your Back. This is a wonderful workshop where you'll be able to educate parents and their children, and also certify their backpacks to assure that they're wearing their backpack in good health in that upcoming school year. So the pattern interrupt is to bring in backpacks and put them on every chair in the waiting room, and have save the dates and flyers coming out of the pockets. I'm assuming you don't usually have backpacks on your chairs in the waiting room, so what does it do? Mary comes in, she turns to your staff, who's, let's call it Jane Doe, and says, Jane, why are there backpacks on your chair? And Jane says, oh, we're having a Pack for Your Back workshop. This is perfect for you and little Johnny, because we know Johnny's going back to school. Let's make sure that his backpack is approved and that he's wearing it correctly, so there are no health concerns that you have to worry about. That opens up a conduit for a conversation. When somebody says that they plan on attending, and then your staff goes about and signs them up, give them a blank certificate, because we created these certificates for you, which is like a certificate of approval for the backpack. Give them a blank certificate, and then tell them to share this certificate with Johnny, and have Johnny bring this into the workshop, because you will then fill it out once their backpack has been approved. Think about that. That's an amazing anchor, because they're going to take the certificate, they're going to give it to Johnny, and then Johnny's really excited to come to your office. The next campaign, Just Like Family. This is a referral campaign. This is the campaign where people who have others who they really care about, who they consider just like family, end up coming to your office because they've been referred. The pattern interrupt is the following. This is a fun one. Have your entire team bring in funny pictures with people who are just like family, and create a montage on a bulletin board and use the banner above this. Make sure that this bulletin board, this montage, is visible to all, because I'm assuming you don't have quirky pictures of your staff with their friends and you with your friends, maybe when you were younger or even at this age, doing fun, quirky things. That breaks a pattern called My Everyday Life. Once the pattern is broken, you then are able to have a conversation. We'll talk about the communication element next week. But the anchor is just go onto Google, because this will be a fun activity for your staff to do, and print out quotes about families. So there's so many quotes about the importance of family and all of these different iterations of that, and then get some like thick paper, or even consider a magnet, because you can get really cheap magnets as well, and attach this to the coupon and say, here's a quote about the importance of family, and now we encourage you to find people just like family and get them to experience chiropractic care and that lifestyle the same way that you have. That is a complete anchor, because people love quotes. They're going to read the quote. They're going to say, wow, this means so much to me. Thank you so much. And they're going to have the coupon. They're not going to throw it away because it's on a little bit of a heavier stock or even a magnet, which they might use forever because it's a motivational quote. And from there, it just allowed you to stay on the mind of your audience even when you're not with them, which is the power of an anchor. So we just went through some of the fearless concepts. Please iterate off of this. You don't have to follow these verbatim. These are just ideas. What's so exciting about the Facebook community is that all of the ideas that we pitch are getting iterated off of. A few weeks ago, Mike Doty ended up reaching out to a cleaning supply company that had all-natural detergent, and they sent him 250 samples. Think outside the box. Are there different businesses like that you use, maybe like products that you use, that you can just reach out and say, hey, we're doing this and love to see if you want exposure. And the odds are they're going to say yes. There are so many companies out there now that all that they do is they curate products within an industry. So one of my friends just sold a company probably like 6 or 8 months ago, and it was a gluten-free company, and they would curate gluten-free products. You would pay, I think, $20 a month, and they would send you a box of all these samples. And he had no cost other than shipping costs, because all of these companies, to a point, were donating these products to gain exposure. So companies have sample sizes of everything, and they just want to gain exposure, and you become a conduit for their ideal market. And you're already a consumer, so your messaging around this is backed by an objective experience. So just think outside the box when it comes to the anchors that you can use. So I know that I have a few questions that have been submitted, but as always, we'll start with the live group first. Mike V, because you're live, do you have any questions that you would like for me to answer?
No, thanks. I had my money on the pattern interrupt for the delivered campaign being wearing a pregnancy suit.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. All right, take pictures, make sure, and put that on Facebook. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Other questions? These are good questions I think everybody will benefit from that were sent through. So one is, how do I target families who are expecting? Go to where they are. I mean, first thing, there's definitely meetup groups in every community where expected mothers are socializing and doing fun activities together. Go to yoga studios that have prenatal sessions. Maybe your gym that you belong to has different stretching routines for women who are pregnant. Go to Lamaze classes. Reach out to doulas and midwives. Like, go to where the people are. They happen to be congregating together, and it's a great opportunity to connect. I would also consider going to nursery schools and camps that have young children, because there's a chance that the parent might be having a second child, and they would want to have all the facts made available to them. So just go to where they are, and those are just some ideas. The next question, how do I get my team excited about putting in the effort to make the campaign a success? All right, so watch the World Cup Clinic, because that's the epitome of it, that webinar. But really what it comes down to is this, is no one wants to be told what to do, but they love having the ability to be heard, and then from there having responsibility delegated. And this is for everyone. Even if they want to be led, they still want to be heard more than they want to be told what to do. So create an environment where this just happens. My recommendation is that every team should be meeting for at least 1 hour every week. If you're not, to me it's crazy, but if you can't do that, at least 1 hour every other week. And at least one of the 4 hours should be, in the month, should be focused on marketing, which means that whatever campaigns that you're doing, you're talking through them. You have a dry erase board in your office and you're writing down ideas, and everybody's voting on concepts and ideas, and this is how you get your team to get fired up, because they feel heard. They don't feel like you're just making decisions and giving them more work to do, but rather they say, oh, Mike V, I get it. 50 new patients, this is why, this is what this means, okay, this is how we're going to get there, these are ideas that I have, and now all of a sudden you have a game plan. Because the executives at Nike, they're never the ones that are making the final decision. It doesn't work that way. They're having team meetings, and they're having managers meet with their key people, because the company's so big already, but the teams are the ones that are coming up with the ideas. That's where businesses grow. They grow through collaboration. That's why we have these SynMinds. And we have, like, even now, it's like really amazing to think of how many chiropractors are viewing this. I mean, there's like maybe over 50% of the tribe is viewing this live. That's really exciting, because you're having a chance to benefit from the energy of all. I do wish that more of you would come into the live version, and I promise I won't call on you if you don't want to be called on. But it would be great, because it gives you a chance to actually speak out. But if you can't, that's fine. But the Facebook group is the epitome of collaboration. Think about it. You go there, and everyone walks away with more wisdom, because everyone's sharing their ideas and their insight. The same will hold true for your team. The next question, there's only 3 that were sent over, is when do I introduce the campaign to the patient? Once the pattern is interrupted would be the ideal opportunity, because that means that there is now a conduit for a conversation. So if they walk in and like immediately the pattern's interrupted and your staff like notices this, they should just bring it up. Like, oh, I see you're surprised by pictures of all of us when we were younger. Yeah, the reason why there are those pictures is we actually have a workshop specifically for families who are expecting, and we want to teach you all natural ways to have a very healthy birth. And now they're like, oh, okay, because they open the door. And then as the doctor, you have your 5 minutes with them, just reinforce it. Whatever you're doing that month that makes sense for that person. So if you're doing 3 things, don't start running through all 3. What makes sense for them based on what you know, invite them to take action. So you introduce it when the pattern is broken, and then from there, you go and you have the discussion, and then this doctor would have the discussion, and then you would anchor that experience with something as well. So that would be how this would all unfold. So thank you for those questions, and Mike V, as always, thank you as well. So next week's topic, we are going to focus on communication for next month's campaigns, and this is where we create an empathy map around each of the marketing campaigns for August. So this is very effective because it allows you to walk in the shoes of your practice members, which is where you need to be if you want them to take action based on your recommendation. In addition, around the concept of the empathy map, we hosted a webinar for the entire profession. It was unbelievable, actually. We had I don't know, at least 1,500 people that signed up for it, and the webinar line can only hold 500. We have to find something that has a larger capacity. But there was like people that were getting bumped in and bumped out. It was nuts. We did send it around. We did post it on Facebook as well. I really believe this was probably one of the best webinars that I was ever involved with. Dan and I did it together. It's the 6 questions that you need to think about to really engage your practice members, and it ties into an empathy map. But what we did was we actually profiled your ideal audience. So one being an athlete, one being a family, one being someone who's in pain, and one being a senior. That's pretty much like the 4 avatars of a chiropractor, and then we created an empathy map for each. So we did post that in the Facebook group. It's about 58 minutes long. I would never waste your time. This is a very valuable resource. So when you have time, just go through it. You will benefit from it immensely. You'll also notice that in the first 3 to 4 minutes, I pitch Synpractic. This is a really good sales pitch, and I'm telling this because this is a way that you can incorporate this into your workshops. I actually get it off the table even before we start, where I say, here's the deal. This is what Synpractic is, and then I go into the meat of the program, because everybody knows there's going to be some offer coming, and I'd rather them not anticipate it, just get it over with, and then just give you the meat. So watch that piece too, because you'll see how I made that transition really smooth, and then at the end you'll see how I loop it back. It's a really good sales training outside of just extremely powerful information that will benefit your clinic for sure. Shout out to Facebook participants. I mean, we have a long list, so this is getting longer and longer. But Lee Goldenberg, Emil Tompkins, Matthew Schmerl, Tim Moulton, Brian McCarley, Matt Griswold, Mike V, Mike Doty, Patrick Kieran, and others. I mean, if I forgot anybody, great job using the community. It's amazing what's coming from this. It's really exciting. I actually get personal emails every now and then from chiropractors that are just expressing gratitude around just the Facebook group piece, because they feel that they're not on an island and they're able to communicate with others and get their questions answered or inspiration when they need it, which is really fantastic. As always, send questions to marketing@synduit.com if it's marketing or SynMind related. Send questions to Pixel Corps if it's website related. Please make sure that you select your September campaigns by next Friday at midnight. Please don't have the team chase you guys, because it's just a waste of resources when we can be doing creative things. So please make sure you do select those campaigns and do it with your team, because then everyone will be empowered. And also make sure that you guys are actively involved with Synfire. It's a really great way to bring the pack together, which is the pack called chiropractic, because that's where the power is. The power is in the pack, and we're rewarding you guys. You get $250 for each chiropractor who joins, and you also are entered into a raffle where you could win a GoPro camera. So in closing, I want to share a really awesome quote, which is a picture. I'm going to share it right now. So you should click on me if you want to see it. It says, your future is created by what you do today, and then crossed out is not tomorrow. And this is a really important concept, because often as a small business owner, you feel yourself getting stretched thin, and you're busy just being busy, versus busy being extremely productive. And what often happens are the things that you need to do the most are the things that you put off the most. And what I encourage you to do is take an open and honest inventory of how you spend your time, and then from there invest in things that help you create the present and the future that you desire, and either delegate or get rid of anything else, because your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. All right, everybody, rock out. Sorry for the little technology glitch in the beginning. For some reason, I just couldn't get on, but I'm happy that I was able to get on. Appreciate all of you as always. Hope you have a rockin' week. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out, and let's keep on rocking. Speak to everybody soon.